then I'm shocked.
Then I'm double shocked.
We're both shocked. See, y'all, just to show you, we don't plan this. We don't like tell each other our list. Like, this is totally
Okay, y'all.
hearing it for the first time.
Okay, y'all. So I literally have no idea who James's number one is.
Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We're your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we're passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our take and our feedback on each contestant's vocal and overall performance. Season 27 is currently over, and we have been crowned a winner in Adam David.
Yes.
And you know what we always do at the end of the season? We always go back, reminisce, and pick our favorites of each round. And we are at probably one of the hardest rounds, most difficult rounds to choose our favorites. And that would be the knockouts, where some serious cuts have to happen or had to happen.
Yeah.
And there were also some people who kind of rose to the occasion and became forces to reckon with as well. But some of those people were not on my list. And I'll talk about them probably a little bit later. But there were so many people that, so many good performances this round that I had to give shout outs to people who I just thought were sent home for absolutely no reason at all, other than the fact that it's entertainment and it's a TV show. What say you, Stephanie?
Yeah, I messaged you this weekend and I was like, how you doing with your list? Because I had a lot of issues with my list, and they're good issues. There were just so many really, really, really good performances that I really had a hard time narrowing it down. So as you'll see in my honorable mentions, I didn't. I did a top 5, but I have a lightning round of honorable mentions because I decided not to stress myself out and limit myself. So I'm going to give a lightning round of 6 honorable mentions.
Oh, wow.
And there were about 3 or 4 people that I could have added to that I really wanted to. And I was like, this is just getting ridiculous. So there are like some of our favorites that aren't even on the mega honorable mentions list.
Wow.
I know.
That's wild.
Yeah, this round was deep.
Well, no, I kept it pretty traditional, pretty black and white. You know me, I'm always going to go back to the ones that I played multiple times, and that's, I'm sticking with that. Even though there were some really, really good performances, I was like, it was nice to revisit ones that I played ad nauseum during the season. So that's what I stuck with. But then again, one in particular made me mad all over again because it just made no sense why this particular person did not get moved on.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that when we get there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Do you want to start or do you want me to begin?
Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
So we're going to handle all of your and my honorable mentions in the Patreon.
Yes.
Like you normally do.
Yes. Yes, we will.
Which will be a nice segue into, please, 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 we'd love for you to subscribe to our Patreon.
Yes.
For just $5 a month.
Yes.
One $5 charge, cost of a Starbucks drink. You can subscribe to our Patreon, where you would receive the release of our weekly podcast early. You would also receive bonus content and also reaction. Just a whole bunch of fun stuff for just $5 a month.
Yes.
We really do appreciate you subscribing to our content.
Yes.
We are the little podcast that could, and we just do this not to get paid, not to anything other than but pure enjoyment.
That's right.
This is not our full-time jobs by any means.
Right.
By any means. But we just thank you for supporting us and always being there for us.
That's right.
Okay. I'm sorry. My memory is a little off today. Who's starting?
I left it up to you. I will start if you would like for me to start, or if you would like to start, that's fine too.
Sure, I can start. That's no
Okay.
problem.
All right.
I'm going to come in really strong with my number 5 because, again, my top 5 could be truly. I could shake it up. I truly could shake it up because that's how strong they are. I'm going to start with my number 5 is BD with Back at One.
Mm.
You threw out a lifeline just in the nick of time.
And I chose this because I love it when a voice sounds like water. And in this round, BD's voice reminded me of water, especially when BD took it to the bridge on this song, because the bridge of the song is very difficult.
Yeah, it is.
And there was an evenness to his voice throughout the entire, like, we went crazy over his, like, and you all can go back and watch the episode. Like, I really am looking for like new things to talk about. And I just felt like there was just like an evenness to his voice throughout the entire offering. What I loved in listening back to BD's offering of Back at One was he didn't do a lot of runs.
Right.
In his version, which the original artist, who, is canceled right now, we don't talk about him, but the original artist is known for a lot of runs. I mean, I wouldn't even say the father, almost now, because he's been out for so many years, the grandfather of like the R&B run.
Yeah.
No, I would say Stevie Wonder is the grandfather of R&B run.
Yeah, that's true.
This person's the father of R&B runs.
Yeah.
And we've heard so many, I don't know about you, but this is one of those songs where any guy back in the day who could sing R&B would sing this song, okay? Like our friends, our homeboys in school, the talent shows.
Right.
Like, they would sing this song because this song was probably his biggest hit.
Yeah.
And because it crossed over onto the pop side.
Yeah.
And what I love that BD did is he kept it so simplistic. It was just so simple, but it was so even. It was like a babbling brook. It was like a stream of just the most placid water flowing, and say farewell to the memories. Like, I'm butchering the bridge, but it's just like it never. He didn't, lonely heart of mine. Like, he didn't do all that.
Right.
But they're in the nick of time. Like, it was so good. But it was never. This song often, Stephanie, is used to showcase a voice.
It really
was.
To
show off a voice.
Right.
And I never felt like BD was being showboaty.
Exactly.
Exactly.
No, 1,000%.
I never felt like he was being showboaty at all.
Right.
He just was standing there and singing this. As Stephanie said, he was singing this song down.
He was singing this song down.
And it was so smooth, and it was so in the cut.
Absolutely.
And it was just like water.
Absolutely.
Like butter, baby.
Oh, like butter. So I was trying to look it up. It was like 120 over 80 blood pressure. It was just like, it was just there.
It was just there. It was just
cool,
perfect.
calm. Yeah.
It was just perfect. Not too much. He didn't give too much.
No.
He didn't give too little.
Right.
And the bridge, it was a perfect attack. Even the switch from the chest to the mix to the falsetto was perfection. And he just stood back and just, with his half open eyes look.
Yeah.
And just sang it down. BD, I tip my hat to you, because this is a hard A song.
It is a hard A song.
So that's why he's my number 5. Back at 1, BD.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of diversity on our list. And for that, I'm happy because there were so many great performances, as I said before. And I hope that we have a varying range of performances that we name. I hope it's not all the same ones. I'm saying that to say BD did not make my list. I honestly think it's because I saw an article about the original artist of this song and I just got mad all over again. And I was like, oh, I just can't. But I'm glad for all the reasons that you said
I saw that article
that
too.
you put him on your list. Yeah. Okay, so my number 5 is Nell Simmons, Sweet Thing, Shaka Khan, Rufus. This is such a high level of difficulty song. This is like the song that everybody thinks that they can sing at karaoke, but then they open up their mouth and it's like, no.
Like Minnie Riperton's Loving You.
Don't exactly. Even try it. It's like, don't even try it. And usually it's don't even try it on these singing competitions.
Oh.
For real. Because you're going to get embarrassed. However, based on what we saw from Nell's offering with Olivia the time before with their battle, I was like, oh, Nell singing Sweet Thing? I think this song might be in good hands. And boy, were we correct. It was definitely in good hands. High level of difficulty song. It was a 10 out of 10 execution and 10 out of 10 for performance as well. The thing that stands out in my mind about Nell's performance is the ending. Because the ending line is I'll go crazy. And she kind of gospel-fied that ending. I've never seen anybody ever like go crazy to accentuate, like vocally go crazy or accentuate that crazy the way that she did. And I loved it. She showed in this performance exactly why she was one of the best singers in the whole competition in a season that was stacked. But she was one of the best. She really was one of the best. And she showed that with her execution of Sweet Thing. So Nell is my number 5.
And let me just continue because she is my number 4.
I love it.
And we cannot forget, this is Rufus featuring Chaka Khan. We cannot forget that, y'all.
Yes.
Gotta get the artist right.
Yeah.
Not just Chaka Khan, it's Rufus.
Well, I did say Rufus.
Oh, you did?
I did. I just said Rufus after. I said Chaka Khan and Rufus.
Why? Oh, why? Like I was like, why did she go home? Why? Because I think she went home after this round.
She did because this show isn't fair.
I said they stupid. This is what I wrote. I wrote they stupid, not they're stupid. I said they stupid.
They stupid.
I said I don't care. I said she's a star. I said, did you hear what she did at the end of that song? Mm-hmm. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was like the modulation up from the word crazy. What she did.
Yes.
I said no one sings Shaka unless you are a world-class vocalist.
1,000%.
Period.
Right.
I'm not gonna reiterate what Stephanie said. And not only a world-class vocalist, a world-class artist. Nell had everything. She had the voice. She had the look. She had the artistry. She had the nuance. She had everything. Why, oh why did she not get the airplay? Like, why didn't we see her blind?
Right.
Why did have one of the strongest battle rounds? Period. I said, again, they dumb. I said, I don't care if she went up against Renzo. I don't care if it was a knockout round against Renzo. Mm-hmm. She was one of the best of the season. That was stupid. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about something because I didn't give away one of my other choices.
Okay.
But just remind me if I don't bring it up, Stephanie, because it's something that Nell and another artist kind of have an indirect relation on.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about it for a second.
Okay.
Because it's very important to talk about.
Okay.
So So just remind me if I don't bring it up.
You want to bring that up on the main feed?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, I wasn't
Absolutely.
sure whether it was the main feed or Patreon.
Because well, I'm gonna bring it up with my next choice. I might
Okay.
as well go because I'm up next.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to my number 3. My number 3 is Tanika Wyatt, Best of My Love.
I like the way you make me feel about you, baby. And I want the whole wide world to see. Whoa.
And let me just continue on with this. There's something about seasoned, mature singers
Talk about it.
that you don't get. I don't care how good a young singer is. I don't care how good the best of the youngest singers are.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about the older, more mature singers. I don't know if it's life experience. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if, and I don't know like if it would be good TV. I think it would be the best TV because I would leave The Voice if they had a show. I would leave The Voice if they had a show where it was 35 and up vocalists. Like you could only be 35 years older or older.
That would be
Like
outstanding.
I would leave The Voice. Like I would. Sorry, Voice. I would leave you because there's something. There's an easiness. There's an autopilot about
Security.
the performance.
Security.
Because you know who you are. The older you get, the more you are in touch with who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I felt with Tanika's performance of Best of My Love. This was an alto singing a belty song,
Mm-hmm.
just killing it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, just passing through. And we talked about this when we initially reviewed this. I said, Tanika was like, it was like she was visiting, right? It was like she was a superstar just visiting the season, singing her little hit. I said, she should have been in the finale. Tanika should have been in the finale of this show.
1000%.
She and no, in my opinion, should have been in the finale of this show because every time they sang, it was just, you could just sit back. I didn't want to take notes.
Right.
Because it was just so enjoyable.
Right.
It was just so good.
Right.
It was just so without like critique, right?
It's without critique. Absolutely.
I'm just saying, like, there's something about more mature performers.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm getting up there in age. I don't know. Younger people need to really study people who are still in the game,
mm-hmm.
who have not like worn out their welcome. Because there's some performers who are older who need to hang it up.
It's time.
You know,
it's time.
There's some who need to hang it up, but there's some who are just as vibrant and are just like Tina. Literally went until she basically couldn't move anymore, until she couldn't walk. Tina was in her 60s shuffling in the heels across the stage.
That's right.
Until Tina was like, okay, I'm done. Tina was like, I'm done.
I'm finished.
Right?
I'm finished. Yeah.
So there's something about it. Young artists, you gotta look at you gotta look at the greats when they were young, and then you gotta look at them when they still have it in their 40s, 50s, and beyond.
Right.
And that's why Nell and Tanika, in my opinion, were so effective. It was a vocal and performance clinic. And they weren't running all over the stage, but they did move. They weren't half naked.
No.
They were classy. They were pulled up.
Snatched.
And was just flawless singing.
Because
a lot of singing has to do with you knowing who you are.
Absolutely.
And your ability to sing.
Absolutely.
Tanika Wyatt, Best of My Love, The Emotions, number 3.
Okay. Well, she's an awesome choice as well. That did not make my list. because I knew she'd be on yours. So I'm going to do my number 4, and then I'm going to do my number 3, and then we can decide where to go from there. My number 3 is going to be an interesting topic based on what you just said
Wait,
about.
didn't you do your number 4?
I did not do my number 4. I did not.
Who was your
Your number 4 was Nell.
number 5? Nell?
Yes, my number 5 is Nell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It rolled. It rolled.
Okay,
What you
I'm
were saying
sorry.
flowed, so it's
Okay,
fine.
okay, I'm
It's
sorry.
fine. It's fine. My number 4 is actually Renzo. Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish.
Made all my moments your own. Why can't you leave me alone?
And I chose Renzo because this song should have never worked for him.
Right.
It should have never worked. Number 1, it's a Billie Eilish song sung by a male R&B / rocker / soul / everything artist. Yes. The second reason is because this song has a very distinct A and B section, and one of them shouldn't have worked.
Right.
It all worked. He made it all work. He made this song his own. And there's another reason that I'm just thinking of. If you listen to the lyrics of it, it sounds kind of feminine in tone. Like, why don't you just leave me alone? Like, just some of the lyrics sound young and sound very feminine. It definitely sounds like it's from a female perspective, but he made it work. Like, he added runs and soul to this perfect song and completely made it his own. Billy just sounded unbelievable in his throat, and I could not get over it listening to it again. He showed his range. He showed his stage presence. He showed his performance ability, and his version of this is the only male version of this that I ever want to hear, because I don't know how anybody else would be able to do it any justice, particularly after hearing his rendition. So Renzo is my number 4. Now moving on to my number 5. My number 3.
Okay.
Yes. My number 3 is Kaya Hamilton with Here by Alicia Cara.
And I'm standing by the TV with my beanie. I'll be over here. I ask myself, whatever to me.
This song is in my opinion, is one of the hardest songs that these producers ask artists to sing on these singing competitions. And in some ways, I find it harder than the big stuffs, the songs I like to call the big stuffs, the Mariahs, the Whitneys, those. I find it more difficult because it's that rap singing with melody and vocal to it. Sorry if like, the fact that you actually have to legit like rap sing, but like legit sing, but you have to find a place to breathe as well. And there is no quit to the breathing until you say here.
Right.
And you finally get a breath. But by then you've had a whole long verse, kind of a B section to the verse, and then you get to here. So it's so difficult that you have to be an absolutely outstanding artist to be able to sing it. And Kaya was. The way that she handled this song, she almost bat phrased it from the beginning. Like, she took her time in a way that still stayed on beat, but a little bit behind the beat and consistent. So it didn't make somebody like me, who is afraid that people will get off of the beat, uncomfortable. It was so slick. And then by the time she got to the bridge, which is like, she bodied it to the point where the band stepped out kind of not cut out, but they decreased a lot
Mhm.
at the back end of that bridge, right before she went into the chorus, right at the point where if she was having breath control issues, it would have
It's been
shown clear
exposed.
as day. She would have been completely exposed. And
Mhm.
she was like, "Duh, duh, 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 duh," and I was just like, I cannot believe that she did that. And then what she did to the end, that last chorus, the way she hollered it down, the way the choices that she made vocally to do some runs, the R&B richness that she put in it was just, I called it was like sister girl flavor. Like she put her sister girl sprinkling all over that song. And it was just like, okay, don't nobody on this show in particular, don't ever need to do this again,
Mhm.
because she gave me one of the greatest versions I've ever seen, point blank, period, let alone on this show. Now, to your point about more seasoned ladies on this competition, in these competitions, just being really confident and being really pros. I had to look it up. Kaya gives me and gave me the same feel as a Nell and as a Tanika, but Kaya is only 26 years of age. So I think just having
I mean,
life.
she's also a mama of twins,
Well,
right?
and she's a mama of twins, and she has another child, I think, as well.
So I
So I
mean,
think life experience, however it comes, sometimes it might not just be an age thing. It might be like, what has happened in your life to.
Aaliyah told me age ain't nothing but a number, but
That's what she told me too. Exactly. So it's
R.I.P.
just, yes, RIP. So yeah, I found that dynamic interesting because, again, she gave me the same confidence, the same professionalism, the same security, the same, all of the things that you described about Nell and Tanika. She gave me those same things, even being the age that she was. So,
Yeah, I ain't done with Kaya yet. I'll talk about that later
okay.
in future rounds.
Okay.
But okay, so number 2, I won't be surprised if this is not either your 2 or 1.
Okay.
No, I will be surprised if this is not either your 2 or 1. But my number 2 is one of Stephanie's favorite. The song is one of Stephanie's favorite artists. And this is to me. This is to me. Before I tell you who it is, this is to me where I just was like, okay, if this person keeps singing like this, he gonna win this entire thing.
Okay.
And he went on to win it. So it's Adam David, Unaware, Alan Stone. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's some people who've sung some Alan Stone on this show. There were battles of Alan Stone done on this show that I was like, they don't ever need to sing Alan Stone again.
Yeah.
They don't ever need to sing no Alan Stone because they can retire it. Because there was some incredible. There have been over the years since the Pitchy Podcast has been in existence. There's been some incredible Alan Stone renditions done on this show.
Shout out to Allie and D Smooth.
Oh my gosh, that did Unaware, right? They battled Unaware, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
So I thought Unaware was retired.
Yes.
It was retired. I thought Allie and D Smooth retired it. And then comes Adam David.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is when I was like, okay, this dude can sneak in and win it all. Now, I was already an Adam David fan.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why they kept using the word character voice, but I get it. I get it now. I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
I said, that's when I was like, oh gosh, the straight holler in this man's voice. Because he was literally, I said, did you see, I don't know if this is on your list, but if you went back and watched this, I forgot that Kelsey literally melted in her chair.
Oh, yeah.
When she when he was singing. Like she literally like slithered, like it was like an ice cream cone melting in this. Y'all, we're having a heat wave right now. It is disrespectful. It's so hot. She literally looked like an ice cream cone melting in the heat at one point. Like she literally just collapsed in the chair.
Yes.
I said, and this is how I knew he sang so well. I actually went back and really studied it. Adam David had his eyes closed almost the entire offering, but it was so good that I said the vocal warranted it. It was so good. And one of the rare cases that Stephanie and I agree on this, that it's very self-serving when people close their eyes. There's no connection. But this man had his little guitar, he threw his head back and he was like, he's like, it was just, I mean, he's like, ah. I was like, stop it, you're hurting us, and you're really hurting Kelsey.
Yes, you are.
You're hurt. They ain't ready for this.
Hurting or
they
good.
Ain't ready for this blue-eyed soul. They're not ready for this, y'all. I said, you keep doing this, young man. And again, he was probably one of the older in the competition.
Right.
Case in point.
Yeah.
It's just a different level.
Yeah.
Adam David.
Yeah.
Unaware. That was bananas. I said,
Yes,
okay, you're gonna win this thing.
Yeah,
you keep singing like that, and sure enough.
He
ain't take his foot off the gas.
That's
from then
right.
on out.
That's right.
And he was singing like that all along. It's just he really didn't take his foot off the gas.
Absolutely.
Like he saw Renzo and was like, oh, I can holler just like that. He saw Lucia. He's like, oh, I can give a sound that nobody else gets. Like,
right.
It's like he saw all the best singers on the show and was like, oh, I can do those things that sound like Adam David.
That's right.
Like Stephanie said, this is one of the strongest overall vocals pound for pound of any season we've had on this show.
That's right.
And he did it all.
That's
Unaware.
Right.
Adam
That's
David,
right.
number 2.
That's right.
Alan Snow.
Sheesh. Sheesh is right.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Bryson Battle, Ain't No Way.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't No Way by Aretha.
Don't you know that
this is
you gotta be a little crazy to sing Aretha.
You have
you
to
gotta be a little crazy in the head, Bryson.
You either have to be crazy or you have to know what God has given you in your throat. And I think that Bryson chose B. He knew what God gave him in his throat. Because this is a PhD level song. You have to perform it in a PhD level way. And listening back to it, I listened back to all of these with a very critical ear because I knew that this list was going to be really difficult, and it was to construct. And I got done listening to this performance and I said, I loved every choice that this young man made. This performance felt like technique on technique on technique. It felt like every line, I could listen to every line and there would be a clinical piece of information and technique that I could gather from how it was constructed. When he got to the part of the song that says, and if you need me, just say you do. And that's when he went into his falsetto. I was convinced because knowing that he has that, I was convinced that that's where he was going to stay, that he was going to ride the whole rest of the song in that falsetto. But what I was delighted to hear and to remember was that he took it back down to his chest voice when he got back to Ain't No Way. And I just thought that that was such a cool choice because as as a female singer, listening to a male singer, and this is me personally, I love me a falsetto. Give me a male falsetto whenever you want. But there is something about that chest voice that's just like, do that.
You know what the real question is, though, Stephanie? WWAD. What would Aretha do?
What would Aretha do? Exactly. Bring it. Yeah. Mix it up. It felt like he told a story with this song. And that's what I appreciated about him going back down.
Aretha never stayed in the holler. She gave you the holler, brought it back down, and had you begging her for more.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So I felt like he did that really well. What I also appreciated that I did not hear in the original, the first time hearing this song, or when we reviewed it the first time, there is a classic point where whoever does this song, and I should have listened for it, and maybe you caught it and I didn't. There's always one of the BGVs that's in the background during Ain't No Way, just going, and that was present in this one as well. I was like, there she is. There's sis in the back. I hear her.
Little trivia history. You know who sang that on the original cut? On Aretha's original cut? It's gonna blow your mind. Who was the original singer of that background operatic thing? Sissy Houston.
Oh, I think I did hear that at some point. I think I did. Yeah. Yeah. Legendary. Legendary song, incredible performance, incredible gift that this young man possesses. And I think that this was one of the ways, or one of the performances, where he showed his vocal ability in a really smart, yet grand way.
I love it.
Number 2.
I love it. All right. Well, our number 1 better be the same. I have a feeling it is, unless your number 1 is Adam David. If it's not Adam David, then our number 1 better be the same.
Well, which would be more shocking? Because only one of those things can be true. Either our number 1s are the same. Well, no, that would be the same thing. No, well, either, yeah. I don't know what is more shocking.
Wrong, and it's not Adam David, and our number 1s are not the same.
Well, would you be more shocked if our number 1s weren't the same, or if Adam David was not on my list?
I'd be more shocked if Adam David wasn't on any of your lists.
Okay.
I'd be more shocked if Adam David wasn't on your list.
Okay.
But I'd be the most shocked if our number 1 wasn't the same and Adam David's Alan Stone was not on your list.
Okay.
Like the double no.
Okay. Well, yeah,
right.
Okay.
All
okay.
Right. What is your number 1?
Oh, I'm giving it. Okay, so my number 1 is Olivia Cooper Harris, Last Dance, Donna Summer.
'Cause when I'm bad, I'm so bad.
Last Dance, the Last Dance. That's not your number 1?
No. She didn't make my list.
What?
She didn't make my list.
Adam David didn't make my list.
Then I'm shocked.
Then I'm double shocked.
We're both shocked. See, y'all, just to show you, we don't plan this. We don't like tell each other our list. Like, this is totally hearing it for the first time.
Okay, y'all. So I literally have no idea who James's number 1 is. All right, but I'll speak about mine. I'm going to go more in depth with this on Patreon because there was a juxtaposition of Olivia and the person that she was against in the knockouts that was striking to me. But I'll talk more about that on Patreon. This is another song that has an A and B section, a very clear A and B section. And they're both epic. Like Olivia's rendition of both the A and the B were both epic to me. So A is more nuanced, more really cool choices, more delicate, more charming, more flirty. And let's also highlight the fact that Olivia was playing the keyboard during the A section of this song.
She was.
By herself. Like, she was the only instruments. She was the only instruments playing. Herself as the vocalist and her on the keys. Which, like, if you were just watching her vocal, you almost forgot that she was playing the keys because it was just so flawless and so effortless, like all of it. And then you get to the B section, and it was just as fun and energetic and free as you would want that section to be. And even more so, something cool that Olivia did in a lot of her performances was she would make these sounds like ee or ooh, and, like talk to people, like talk to the audience. That just made her performance that more not relatable, but she drew you in that way. Like, she was able to connect with her audience in that way. And the vocals in both the A and the B section were absolutely amazing. This was one of the most, in my opinion, legit professional performances of the competition. Like, if we didn't know who was like a working professional on this show, she would be one of the names that you would name. There would be other names that you would name because there were other artists that give professional.
Yeah.
And that's why we call them pros. Right. She would be on that list. And this performance is indicative of why she would be on that list. And it's indicative as to why she is currently a professional singer. And I just thought it was one of the best knockouts of the season. So that's why she's my number one.
For one of the biggest artists today.
Yes.
And Teddy Swims.
Yes.
Olivia did not make my list because everyone knows how I felt about Olivia. Like, everyone, like, I talked about her ad nauseum incessantly. And to me, further on down the river, Olivia gave arguably the greatest performance of the season, and we'll talk about that in future rounds.
So I think that you said, now that I remember, at the top of the show that you kind of wanted to use your list, this list in part, to talk of and make space for people who maybe did not last as far in the competition.
It was an amazing performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel Olivia was so good, is so good. She just, her so good, she didn't have to bring her best because she topped her so good with the best, if that makes sense. And we'll talk about that later. All right. My number one was a performance. I just literally sat there with my mouth, my jaw was on the floor as to what I was witnessing. I said, how dare you? How dare you come on this show sick and use the illness, use your illness to your advantage. And that of Kobe Cordell. First of all, you're singing one of, if not the hardest
Word.
song in male R&B history. And it's an early R&B. Like I said, the grandfather runs in that of Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Took my glasses off for this. I said, and I'm talking in a voice like that. Lately I had the strangest feeling. And I was like, he ain't gonna be able to hit these notes. And the day to go. I'm doing a bad John Legend. Anyway.
Hey.
And then I was like, wait a minute. I said, that's new for me. I said, usually singers, Stephanie, you know, oh God, I can't sing today. I can't. Singers are so neurotic. Stephanie will tell you. They're so like, I can't. I can't.
I gotta get my water.
And like, they don't have, and this man, you could tell he truly was ill.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but what it meant to me as a vocal pedagogue, and that just, it's just a fancy word for I know the mechanics of the voice, is Colby was so connected to his breath support, his diaphragm, as we call it, that it didn't matter if he was having issues in his throat, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
He was so connected to his breath that everything that came out, though it came out with a rasp, it came out flawlessly.
Yeah.
It was angelic. It was one of the highlights of the season. Mm-hmm. I remember John said, and this was, and notice how, who are my bookends? Who are my bookends, Stephanie? BD.
Yeah, they were in the
and
same.
And he had to follow BD.
Yeah.
And literally, Adam and all them were falling over BD's performance.
Yeah.
And John said, well, wait a minute, watch this. And then Adam Levine was like,
yeah.
And they were like, he said, always stars to cry. I said,
and then he went up. Then the key went up. I'm a man. I said, oh, you.
What I really said, boy, if you don't, I said, sit your church behind down. If you don't,
me.
I said, we were hollering, remember? Stephanie, I remember you were like, Stephanie said, hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Remember?
Because he said, oh.
He said, oh.
Because this time
good. I said, you win it for me. You win it for me, bro. That was insane. I ain't never heard somebody use their sickness to their advantage.
Yeah.
Vocally.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Well, it's not for all the reasons that you described. That's some
bizarro back world.
It is, but it's also when you know how to use your instrument, you know what you have. And you know what you can push, you know how you can shift, you know the vocal changes that you can do in order to best use your instrument for that one performance.
And Stephanie will tell you, those of you who aren't singers, you have to understand, we're the only instrument that wakes up every day and it's a new instrument.
Right.
Like, you don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
I mean, you know your voice, but your voice is affected by your mood. Your voice is affected by the weather. Your voice is affected by everything. You can tune a violin.
Yeah,
you can tune a piano.
That's right.
You can tune any instrument. You can't tune this. So it's going to do what it's going to do. And Kobe just woke up that morning and said, okay, well, this is what I have.
This is what I have.
But I know what I can do.
That's right.
I know my ability.
That's right.
So Colby Cordell, Lately. I said, no, he did not sing Lately.
Yes, he did.
with a sore throat.
With a sore throat. Yes, he did.
All right. Stephanie, tell them what they need to hear.
Okay, so don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And while you're there, please, especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star rating and review our show so more friends can find us. And then hop on over to YouTube, search for the Pitchy Podcast, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you know when we drop a new video. Then come on over to Instagram and TikTok and follow us at the Pitchy Podcast and at Blue Sky at the Pitchy Podcast .bsky.social for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more. Y'all, we done gave the people their $5 worth on Patreon on tonight. We sure did. And we have so much content. You get this episode early. You get the bonus content. I react to some videos. You can ask us questions for Q&A. So much content over at Patreon for only $5. Please join us.
Bye.
Bye.